Can I do it? Yeah. Thank you guys for coming. ModelLand is like my baby. I have been working on her for 5 years, and I have to say it was one of the most amazing things, but at the same time stressful things I have ever done in my entire life. Because when you read ModelLand and you see it's a world that I created, and it wasn't really, it's based in reality, it's based on my life and based on my modeling career, but I added all this fantastic candy magic realism craziness, so that's where all the stress came. But I can tell you about Tuki de la Creme. Can you all say Tuki? Tuki de la Creme. Tuki is 15 years old. She's the protagonist in ModelLand. She is probably about my height, but probably about 50 pounds lighter. She's gangly, she's awkward, she walks hunched over. She has what she calls multiple personality disorder hair. It doesn't know what texture it wants to be. Frizzy, kinky, curly, straight, wavy. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Every time she puts a comb through it, the comb breaks. And she has a forehead that goes on and on and on and on, like the woman that you're all looking at right now. So ModelLand, it's also, it's about, empowerment and feeling better about yourself and expanding the definition of beauty. So we can't just have Tuki, that's one look. On the way to ModelLand, Tuki is, there's some other girls that are being discovered as well. Also, when you're a bad model, like not Tuki and her friends, but when you're like a supermodel, called an intoxicabella in ModelLand, and you're bad and you're doing illegal things or being too bitchy, you get turned into a cat and you get sent to Catwalk Corridor. Now you can't have a young adult novel without romance, right? Romance. So at ModelLand, down the street, ModelLand is like a land, it's like a town. So down the street there is a school for male models. And it's called Bestosterone, like testosterone, but the best testosterone. And there's a boy, a fine boy by the name of Bravo, who I kind of like inspired by the guy that I had my first kiss with. Yes, Bravo. And so he is Tuki's love interest, and he's the finest boy in the school, and Tuki does not understand what he wants with her because she doesn't look like all of these girls. So that's ModelLand in a nutshell. Does anybody have any questions for me before we start signing? Anybody? Stand on up.
What do you value most about your education?
Look at you, you're so, you come here. You're like prepared. You got questions. Wow. Young faces smiling questions. Look at him, fashion. What's your name? Dante. Okay, so you said, what did I most value about my education? Well, right now I'm in business school, so I'm learning to be an even stronger businesswoman. And the thing that I probably value the most there is having to learn about finance and accounting. When I was, how old are you? I'm 15. Okay, so you're 15. So was that what, algebra? Geometry? Algebra? So I was in high school and was really bad at algebra. I struggled. I got like a C+, but that was really difficult for me. So what I'm proud of now is being in business school and learning about all types of math stuff, which is algebra again, and actually understanding it now. So I'm the most proud of that and learning how to take care of my money. This is amazing, their questions. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a model.
You want to be a model? Well, you're going to be a smart model. You take care. I wanted to write for young adults because I feel like that's where I connect the best. That's where I feel the most connected. With top model, the girls that come on are pretty young. On my talk show, I felt the most comfortable when there was a teen sitting there that I was speaking to. I feel like I have a natural connection to that, and I always feel like a teenager inside, no matter how old I am. I don't know if you guys notice with my energy, sometimes it can be a little like, ah! But that's really just the teenager inside of me. And, but at the same time, I do know that young adult novels, that adults read them too. So I knew that I could find people my age that read it too, but still talk to a teenager. All right, welcome. Stand on. Okay, I'm going to give you some choreography. You ready? You're going to start here, then you're going to go there, then you're going to come back to the middle, then you're going to go up there, then you're going to go back here, and then pose. So it's like a T, like my name, a T. You ready? Can we give her like a beat? Okay. And I thought you were going to forget the choreography. I thought you were going to get here, then go back there like 5 times. You were like, tell me once, honey, and I will show you good. So that was, you know who I wish was here? I wish Miss J on Top Model was here. She was like, oh, baby cakes. Oh. That was so good. Was, you know, crazy, nervous, overworking, micromanaging everything, going to Bed Bath & Beyond on my own credit card because the house didn't have enough pillows. You know, the poster of all the girls. There's a poster, if you guys Google Cycle 1. It's a poster, and the girls have these like little bandeau, little swimsuit stuff on. That's from my closet, because we didn't have budget. So I took that and put it in a trash can, a paper bag, I'm sorry, a plastic trash can on my back on the plane because I was scared to check them because if they got lost in the luggage, I wouldn't have clothes for the photo shoot. So that's what this is for me. You know, it is 5 years of like blood, sweat, and tears, and rewriting, and writing, and editing, and crying, and this, my editor, no, I can't lose that chapter, and just all that. And the stress again, when I lost a little bit of hair, I had alopecia for a little bit because of the stress. So it's like anytime I start something new, and it's a message especially for the young ones in the audience, I wouldn't say to kill yourself like I do. I think I'm too much of a workaholic, but there is something about like finding something that you're passionate about and having tunnel vision where that's the only thing that you see, and chugging along and doing the research to make sure that you are 10 steps ahead of your competitor next to you. Just know the successful people in the world, look at Beyonce, oh my God, she's amazing. Beyonce is a workaholic, and she is a perfectionist. I mean, I remember on the Tyra show, I used to tape 3 shows a day. When Beyonce came on the Tyra show, I could only do 1. Because Beyonce was there at 8 o'clock in the morning rehearsing, and we would tape at 5 p.m. So that should let you understand that's the reason why she is the way that she is. And LeBron James, or whoever the great people are, or President Obama, you know, the list goes on of these amazing people, and it's because of the tunnel vision. But just, I can tell you for myself that it's also important to relax and take time for yourself, which I'm learning to do now. Yes. Okay. I love the shape of your hair.
Thank you.
It's very strategic, isn't it?
Oh, not really.
No?
No, he's just looking back. But well, I always had problems with dealing with my skin complexion, and I see how. Sorry. I see how you're such an inspiration because you dealt with problems of just your weight and everything in the model industry. I just wanted to know, how did you get over just your insecurities?
Well, for me, when I was super duper insecure, when I was very skinny, because you know, then I was bigger too. So I'll talk about when I was very skinny. I didn't really have much to turn to, so I would actually turn to the place where we're standing in, which is bookstores and libraries. And I used to just read because I was unhappy, so I used to escape into something else, into another story. As I got older, and you know, you guys know when I was on the beach and they took a picture of me, I was doing actually a photo shoot for America's Next Top Model. And then there was a paparazzi during the photo shoot in the bushes taking pictures while I was doing my photo shoot. And they put my picture everywhere and said America's Next Top Model and Tyra Big Booty Banks and Tyra Shanks and like all this type of stuff. And it hurt. It really, really hurt me, but I kind of laughed it off. Because I'm like, oh, I teach self-esteem, so I'm going to be strong, and just kind of laugh this off, and I didn't really think anything of it. And then girls started coming up to me and saying, well, Tyra, if they're calling you fat, what am I? Because I'm your size, or I'm bigger than you. And I felt like I needed to do something about it. So I went on the talk show and did this whole speech about kiss my fat, you know what. And I actually ended up crying at the end of that. I don't know if you guys remember or saw it, but I was crying in the end. And I thought it was a sign of weakness. And I told my director, I know I did all of that in 1 take, but I need to do it again because I can't cry. I have to show that I'm strong. I have to show that this doesn't hurt me. I have to be strong for everybody. And my director turned off all the monitors and said, no, that was real. You understand? That emotion. You see it's coming back now. That was a real moment. And I do it for girls like you. You know, and it's like, I always feel like I have to be strong, 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 but sometimes it's okay to cry. Come here. Sometimes it's okay to cry, and sometimes it's okay to say that something hurt you. And that's okay. And the reason why I created America's Next Top Model is for girls like you and for girls like me. I get made fun of to this day. Google Tyra Big Forehead, it will come up like crazy to this day. So I created Top Model for girls like me and for girls like you. and people tease you about skin color. There's one thing that our community does is they tease about things that are African. Big forehead is an African trait. Big lip, big nose, kinky hair, those are African traits. Dark skin is African traits. So what it is it's a self-hatred. Okay, and we all have it. I got fake hair on too. I'm still struggling with my own self-love. Okay, so that's what it is. You have to know how beautiful that is. And I cast girls on Top Model with skin just as beautiful and ebony as you. Because, yeah, I casted that girl, but really I casted her to speak to you. She's nothing but a vessel so that I can reach girls like you and show how beautiful you are. Look at your lips and your cheekbones and your nose and the planes of your features. And I mean, you stood up, I noticed your hair immediately. The better it is. But every week, Top Model comes on to say that is not right and that is not true. There was a girl named Krista that won America's Next Top Model a couple of years ago, and when I think of you, I think of her. Actually, this is Tama. Stand up, Tama. Tama's the CEO of my company. And Tama just had a birthday, and you guys know I take pictures on Top Model? And my favorite picture I framed and gave to Tama and signed it for her birthday, and it was a picture of Krista. It was a picture of Krista, and you look so similar to her, and you are so beautiful. So just know that. Okay? She's fierce. You guys know she's Seen her. The girl whose face not even the meanest person you know would describe as yuck, but who you'd never in a million, no, in a trillion years describe as alluring either. The girl whose eyes are 3 centimeters too far apart and whose mouth is 4 centimeters too wide. Not that you break out a ruler, but when you look at her, it's enough to make you say that something is definitely off. Come on now, you've seen her. She's the girl whose hair has multiple personality disorder and can't decide if it's supposed to be quasi-curly, silky straight, frantic frizzy, or wet and wavy, or maybe a power to the people fro. The girl whose body is a contradiction of itself. A slightly hunched back from years of poor posture, one must presume. Feet the size of snowshoes and stick figure arms and legs so fragile you think you hear them screaming, "Feed me an entire grilled cow now." The girl with the humongous punch bowl-sized head with a forehead that goes on and on and on, making her look like the weight of her cranium will topple her over and break her into 1,000 pieces. And not only is her clothing painfully mismatched, so are her eyes, darling. You heard me right. She has one green eye and one brown eye. Have you ever seen Tuki Delacroix? I bet you have. Maybe you've even met her. You just don't remember her. No one ever does. For as unusual looking as she was, Tuki was a forget-a-girl. One of the most forgettable girls in the entire world. But maybe not for long. There we go.